between me or Steve should get another predator.
We would love to get you a predator. Maybe David's got the better chance with the vehicle. But where we last saw David, we moved off about 10 meters, and then Herbie said he heard kudus in the distance, alarm calling. So we've moved all the way down here to try and see if we can find anything. We haven't heard anything more. Kudus are quite a reliable indicator of a predator, not just a lion, but also leopard. But as I say, we haven't found anything. We haven't heard another peep. But the bush is very quiet down in this corner. Very, very quiet. A little bit too quiet. Even the birds aren't making a noise. All I can hear is my bird breathing. But it's lovely being out on foot anyway, regardless of what we find. It's just lovely being out here. I think there was a question earlier about what do we all love about the Lowveld, and for me, the history, the geological time frame with which this area is. And wherever you go from north to south of the Lowveld, there's a different rain gradient, there's different habitats, different vegetation, there's different soil, there's different geology. And just in small little areas, you can get an enormous diversity of geology. And that to me really inspires a lot. I would admit that this area here is quite homogeneous in a geological form, but there are areas not far away that are just completely mind-blowing. Where I used to work at Salati, that people found there. But for me, that is what's so amazing about the Lowveld. You can go from the south to the north, you're going to find different things. It's constantly changing. The seasons are changing. Phil de Beers was saying his favorite part about here is the winters. He really likes the winters because of the temperature. It's not so hot. But I like the seasonality, the flowers at this time, the grasses, different bird species migrating in. There's big animals, there's tracks. But what else can you say? It's a wonderful part of the world to be in. And if you've never been, ladies and gentlemen, when you start booking your airline tickets, come over here and check it out. Let the African bug bite you once, and then we'll see. Well, enough of my nonsense. Let's go and see what that scallywag Hukumuri is up to.
Well, scallywag Hukumuri looks like he might be heading for Galago Pan, but at the moment it's getting very thick where we are, so I'm not sure that we will be able to follow him just here. He's just coming down through the thicket here. I just want to see if I am able to get through here. Now the monkeys are calling at him, but we won't lose him because at least we've got 3 vehicles with us now. If I can just get over this little section, I might be able to actually follow him down into that thicket. And then now there's something in front of us, it looks like a bushbuck or a nyala that's getting worried because of all these monkeys alarm calling. Here he comes, he's just on our left. Okay, so we're just flanking him a little bit, just trying to keep up with him, everyone. Oopsie, there he is. Okay, so you see we are with him, but he's on the move. And I'm just going to go a little bit forward now again. There's a vehicle behind me as well. So we just want to stick with the old boy. Scallywag, as Steve called him. I don't think that's very apt for Hukumuri. I think he's anything but a scallywag. I think a street fighter would be more obvious. Is he going to come through right here? There he is. Okay, so we're just flanking him quite closely. Just stopped here just recently. Lisa, if the leopard does smell another leopard, it all depends on what leopard they've smelt. Potentially they can leave the territory. Oh, there's all sorts that have spotted him now. Crazy. Not sure if you can hear them, but the monkeys are going nuts. And he is definitely heading down towards Galago Pan. Okay, so I'm going to follow up behind him. this vehicle's gone in front, and I'll follow up behind. Just got to try and get through here. Some old dead branches, just getting a bit cracked there. Nothing to worry about. Just go nice and slowly, and at some stage we will go ahead and get to Gallagher Pan, I think. For the time being, he's just heading up the road in front of us there. I think we can just watch him disappear here in the thicket, and then I think we can, in fact, we might be able to follow him here. I don't know if we're going to be able to get all the way through.
You smell that popcorn?
Sabi said that you can just smell popcorn, that nice fresh buttered popcorn. There we go, and that's why we're smelling it. He's doing it all the way as we go. He's marking a lot. Dale, I don't know why it smells like popcorn. It's really strange, because normally cat urine is quite a pungent, very nasty smell, but for some reason leopard smell is quite pleasant. I don't know if it's because they're such wonderfully beautiful cats and it would just be an insult for them to have smelly urine. I don't know, but yeah, it's one of the most pleasant smelling urine of all the cats, I would say. If you want to smell any cat's urine, let it be a leopard's. I think now we're going to have to go cut upwards and get around to Gallagher Pan. And I don't think we're going to be able to go through there. We might have to backtrack slightly. He's almost at the road, but maybe we can just go down below here and follow up straight behind him. Just go slowly. It's the golden rule when off-roading, just go slowly and you should be fine. Sometimes when you have wild dogs though, or when these cats or lions go on the hunt, it's almost unavoidable. But Seb's just going to drop the aerial here before I go underneath all this wooded area. Thanks, Seb. I will try my best to avoid the high one, the low ones I mean. There we go. There's sometimes a little bit of a skill to get through. I think he's headed up now straight towards that pan. So I think I'm going to very quickly try and get up to the pan here. Hopefully, who knows, we might see this leopard go on the hunt, and one of the animals that it does like hunting is with David.
Well, good luck, Hukumuri, and hopefully Raf will reposition. And what we got is what Hukumuri would put for dinner on his dinner's menu tonight, and the impala. There's one just looking at us. I don't know what she's thinking or what she's thinking we are made of, and it's not concentrating on the oxpeckers who are, nagging it and getting all the ticks out of her body. And beautiful face she got, eh? I'm not sure it's me she's looking at, or it's Dave. There's David. And very, very popular food for most leopards. I've always noticed, given a choice of a few species, they'll always go number one for the impalas. And to the left there, the big male with the horn could be the one in charge of the harem here. Very good job there, David. He should be eating, and at the same time, he is not. He's maybe just concentrating to find out, to see that all things are going well. But in the rutting season, he makes a move there. I don't know what he's up to. Case you're asking whether we got antelopes that are, or could be the same size as a moose. I'm trying to imagine how big or small a moose is, but my guess would be, let me see, Maybe Anyala? What do you think, David? Maybe a kudu, David thinks. So Casey, a kudu would be pretty close to that size. And I'll show you what a kudu looks like and its size, and you'll tell me whether it makes sense or not, as you also try to visualize how big a moose is. I haven't seen a moose, and I'll show you a kudu, and you'll tell me what you think. And this is the greater kudu that I'll show you. If Dave, you come to me before Casey, what that is a kudu, and I don't know, moose, I would guess they have horns too. I haven't seen one, as I said earlier, but that's how a greater kudu looks like, and that's a male. And Dave thinks that could be the size of a moose. I'm sure nothing compared to the impalas here. They all keep wagging their tails there. And Hukumuri is back in sight.
Now, everyone, he's gone to Galagoat Pan, but not with the intention of drinking. He's literally gone there, marked, turned around, and come back where he came from. So it's very clear to me that he might not even be interested in hunting either. I'm not sure that this guy is interested in anything but finding Shudulu. So, it'll be very interesting indeed. Will be wonderful to see if he takes us to Shudulu, in fact, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. So we just follow him, and eventually he might go down into the thicket here. Reptilian Research, we watched him. He actually nearly marked us a minute ago because he came up to a bush right next to us and we nearly got sprayed. So we were nearly smelling like popcorn as well. And it's, it just depends. If you're next to a bush where he just decided that he's going to come and mark, well, he might just extend the spray all the way onto you. I actually once had one of my students that was on a tracker seat, and he got sprayed on his feet when we were sitting next to a leopard sighting. He got quite a surprise. Sorry, I just wanted to move. Sorry, Seb. JME, well, Hassan is obviously going to be taking note of all of the scent marking, and maybe that's why he's laying low a little bit with Tingana out in the Chitwa area. So I'll just move forward here so that we can just watch him a little bit there. He's going to mark again and then head out onto the trail once more. That's what he's doing now all the time. He's just walking, marking, walking, marking. What a beautiful cat, eh? Hukumuri, you have just made my day. We were looking for you the whole morning. Let the other guys go in front for a turn. We take turns. Everybody, there's a vehicle coming in front. We all have our turn to get up close and personal, and there's quite a few guests with us as well. So let's try and catch up with him again. We're going to follow him probably until the end of drive, everybody, so don't worry. We'll try and stay right up with him. But it seems David's got a beautiful bird to show you.
Funny, it's very typical for birds just to take off when we were just about to frame them, and David had been doing a pretty good job, my namesake, and that was a bead. Hopefully he'll come back. Do you think David can see it, or do you think it's gone? It's gone, and it was a little bee eater, and that is nothing to worry, because I'm going to show you one right now and show you how a bee eater looks like, or the one we had there on the frame. It was the little bee eater. And all right, so okay, David, there we are, and you see they are common, and they are all over in most parts, or in most countries in Africa. You'll see the little bee eaters, beautiful. And one that's very similar to this one is the cinnamon-chested bee eater. But there's one thing I would want you to pick up. If you look at the size of its beak, you see it's pretty long, because very good, David. They feed mainly on bees, not necessarily on bees. They'll also feed on butterflies and other insects, but the main diet are bees, and as the name suggests. But the long beak could make sure that when they kill the bee, or before they swallow it, they want to bring the sting out. So it's very, very sensitive for the eyes, and they want to make sure the sting or anything that's not right for them doesn't blind them, because they seriously need the eyes as they feed. We'll see whether we can get another beat, but in the meantime, we'll move forward. We've got some impalas that are just snorting and making noise ahead of us, and see if anything could be happening. Being the rutting season now, they become very, very loud, and the males will sometimes lose it and lose concentration, and Hukumuri could easily get one down, because they are not able to concentrate very well. When the male hormones, the testosterone, are high, they lose their bearing very easily. What was the name of the viewer? Thiero, you're asking if the rutting season has started. Yes, Thiero, it has started, and it might be between, it normally comes between the full moons, which we have now, until the end of the full moon. So it's going to be a very, very busy season for the male impalas. Theodore, I do not know whether you have impalas or where you come from. If it's any part of Africa or any part of the world, what type of antelopes would you compare to our impalas, like what we were watching before and the ones you're going to watch? Steve is patched up again, somewhere up.
It's nice to perch. I did some serious exercise with James Hendry this afternoon. It nearly killed me, but I think this walking has managed to stretch the muscles, so I'm feeling much better. But the reason I stopped here is you're all spending some time with Hukumuri, and I remember, I'm not sure who I was with. Was it you, VM? When we had Hukumuri climb up on this termite mound. We had a marvellous sighting. We found him coming in from the south, just behind us here around Treehouse Dam area, just over there. And he came, he skulked up onto this termite mound, and he lay right where I am right now. So I'm feeling his energy, feeling his vibes, and have a look at that view. And if you had an eye of a leopard, you'd be able to spot all sorts of little critters moving in and around over there. So what a marvellous idea it is to sit on these little termite mounds. They are quite comfortable as well. And that you can see is quarantine in the distance, the open sort of clearing area where we had that's where our camp is on the other side. We had enormous amounts of leopard track activity from last night. And we're guessing it's Hukumuri interacting with Hosana, interacting with Shadulu. We're not really sure, but there were so many tracks, and we've been on the tracks of leopard all afternoon, and all we have now is a memory of a termite mound and a leopard posed. Well, that's it. It's starting to get dark, as you can see in the western horizon, and we are going to slowly make our way down this termite mound and head on back to camp. And yeah, that is this think might be it for us this afternoon. We're not going to fall or roll down. We're going to take it easy, looking out for holes and anything. VM told me not to joke earlier about that because it's going to happen to me one of these days. Well, it happened to me in the vehicle just a couple days ago. So I'm a little bit more aware when I'm walking than driving at night and without a big nose in front like that. So onwards we go, back that direction. Hopefully we don't influence or bump into Ralph following Hukumuri. Kaya, that's exactly what VM said to me earlier, is that I'm going to sleep like a baby after these exercises. I wonder how James is doing. I'm sure he's fine. Luke, because I was exercising with James a lot in January before I went to the Mara, and I've been trying to get back into it, my own sort of steam. And Luke has been exercising with me. He's one of the new directors. And we were just going to go for a run today. And then he saw James getting ready. James wanted some company. So Luke's like, okay, let's do it. And I wonder how Luke is doing. I have no doubt Luke is laughing. Whoa, that was nearly a hole. Luke says he's regretting it. And when we started, I says, this is all on you. You've brought this upon us. Because James works out like an absolute machine. And there's always ego involved in guys, so we all want to try and keep up with him, which is not possible. But talking about gentlemen, and probably the most graceful and lovely man I've ever met. Let's go to David.
Right. Exercise is one thing we have to keep doing here, not because we are scared of anything, but we live so well. It's very quiet life, great jobs that we do, very proud to do what I'm doing, for example, or what I've been doing for a long time. But also we need to keep exercising and walking. And like today, I did about 3 miles walk, easily. Just like that, and that keeps me very, very fit. And David, you're gonna come with me tomorrow?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, David will come with me tomorrow. We are bonding very well, and we'll see whether we can do a higher mark. Started with 3 today, and see whether tomorrow we can do 4 miles in a day. David is just laughing. I'm not sure that means he is on or not, but we'll see how it goes tomorrow morning. What's the best time to go out, David?
11 o'clock.
Okay, he says 11 o'clock after he has had his brunch, It's nothing as good as being fit while you're here in the bush. Should Hukumuri come for you, which doesn't happen, we are always very careful, you are able to take off and, run, or you might have a little competition with impalas. Still tracking the other characters, the other leopards that are always around here. And we are sure before the end of the day, we are thinking, we are not sure, we might be lucky between me and Steve. We agreed when we met somewhere, in the middle of the wilderness, or when we met in the golf course, one of us have to get one more leopard before we close the day. Still crossing fingers, it will be me and David, eh? I got a lot of pressure from the FC, or from the full control. I got only 36 minutes to get a spotted cat. Ralph, what do you got to tell us?
Everyone's going to whip. Everybody, I'm just trying to bundu bash a little bit, trying to catch up with Hukumuri again. But he has taken us into quite a thick area. So we're just seeing, I don't want to damage things here. I just want to try and get through things slowly to hopefully not get a puncture as well while we go. And just slowly make our way. Okay. Now Hukumuri's chosen quite a difficult section for us to get through, but never fear. We'll try and keep up with him. And the only thing is that now he's been ahead of us for a little while. And we just try and get this stuff out the way of the aerial, which is the most important. hope he hasn't given us the slip. Okay, everyone, we're just trying to catch up with this leopard, and I know it's a little bit difficult for us at the moment, so I think David is having things slightly easier.
Right, yes, and we are thinking now, we are laying our final game plan with David here, and we are looking at that direction, and we want to pick any slight sound we'll hear, any alarm call from either an impala or from waterbuck or from whoever, or from the guinea fowls. So we just stopped here to see whether they're going to pick any slightest call and see the pressure I'm getting from the final control will help. Shakshia, you are asking if bird alarm call at night, and ideally if the predators will still go for them at night, they will have to alarm call. It's not normal, it's not very common, but leopards will hunt anytime, be it during the day or during the night. And if that happens at night, well, for example, the guinea fowls, you'd hear them at night. It's not one noise you want to hear. They're very irritating at night, but they'll have to let the others know, we are under attack, we need to move, and move very quickly. Yes, birds will alarm call at night too. Now we've got a small plan now with David, and we'll move in that direction and see what happens. Right, Davy?
Yes.
Righty. And as darkness, comes, we got those animals who are leaving and those who are coming in. Kaya, you'd like to know which alarm call is quite reliable. We're just talking about it a few minutes ago with David, and we thought, I think, kudu, you'd go with it like 95% guarantee that the alarm call are more of a definite giveaway to a predator. We got squirrels, guinea fowls, francolins, but we agreed amicably a few minutes ago with David that the kudus will give you a more definite, giveaway of a predator. Impalas also do, but impala sometimes they're jokers, They'll just see some wind move and they sense danger and they're just snorting and saying there's some danger here, and you just go there and it's a false alarm. So I've always planned now since I got here to go with the kudus. So you're just hoping we'll hear a kudu pretty soon snout and go, oh! That's a kudu. You hear it go that 2-3 times, Get close to it. Chances are there could be something happening. They're slowly coming in. The kudu has been the one biggest one that I have learned since I got here, and I'll be, with time, be preparing and mimicking them and getting them across. Okay, yeah, let's see. The monkeys do. The monkeys, I would say they do, although sometimes they're not reliable, like the kudu I was talking about. I would say the vervet monkeys and the baboons also give away many times. Yes, they do, I would say, better job than squirrels. Yes, monkeys, and more so the vervet monkeys and the baboons. They give good alarm calls, and you can rely on them. Okay, yeah? Fluffy Oscon, you'd like to know what is my best animal mimic that, you know, I would like to do or I like most, and it is the lion, what in East Africa we call the Simba. What do you think of that, Fluffy Oscon? I hope that helps you explain to you. Do you have any that you'd like to mimic or that you'd like to call? You have any maybe? All right, are you ready? It's something like David, do I go now?
Yes.
If it is a territorial call, I'm trying to imagine, of course, lions will have different calls depending whether it's a territorial one or, but it should be something like. What do you think of that? Yes, and that must have been a big male lion, isn't it? Not a small one, eh? Like the Avoca males? What do you think? Or the Buckingham boys? What do you think, David?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, David think one of the two. I don't know who is in charge now of this territory, but whoever is, it was close. Okay, David, do you want him to try, David, the lions, or what do you want him to try?
I'll give it a shot.
All right, he is ready to give it a shot. Let's go there. Well done. That is fantastic. We have a commonality. What do you think of the pitch there? I think we can make a very good choreography, the two of us. Very good. And we should be doing more of that, I think, every day as we keep, you know, doing the Kiswahili words. But that was lovely. Well done, David. Ooh la la. We'll give you one day. We had a few in the morning, and the one I'll give you today is when you slow down in life, like when you come doing game drives, everything just stops. When you come to the wilderness, everything slows down, and life is good, and you forget everything, and you do things slowly, and that we say pole pole. P-O-L-E, P-O-L-E, like a pole, but it'll be pole pole. That means slowly. Should be a good one to take home today. Nancy, you're saying a new coalition has been formed. Excellent. We have the Birmingham boys, we got the Avoca males, and now we got David Squire males. Well done, Nancy. I agree with you. Excellent. It's a good way to put it for David. She makes her day, isn't it? Yeah, David says thumbs up to you, Nancy. Well, we'll be thinking of what territory we are going to take now, me and David. And in the meantime, Hukumuri has a threat from us.
Okay, well, everyone, we really are now just trying to find out exactly where we are. We know we're on the Djuma concession, and Hukumuri has really now given us the shake. So the only thing we can do now is try to get to the closest road, which is probably Mvubu Road, which we were coming down when we first saw Hukumuri. But at the moment, we're just taking the path of least resistance. So, and Hukumuri's over there somewhere towards the west. We've come east now, but there's a big drainage line in front of us. So we're just now looking for a little patch where we can get out onto the road. And there is a little bit of a sandy patch over there. Looks like a sodic site. Not a good area to drive over because then it can be eroded very easily. So just, Seb, if you just show them that over there, that sodic site, normally with a lot of mineral salts in it, and that's why nothing grows there. So it's very susceptible to erosion. So we never drive on sodic sites. It's like black cotton soils as well. I know we do drive on black cotton soils in the Masai Mara, but that's where the roads are actually made, which is quite silly. But I think there's so much black cotton soils there that it's almost impossible to miss. So while we try to get out of this block, I think Steve is probably heading home towards camp. It's getting rather dark.
Yes, it is, Ralph. We're not far from camp, and what better way to end the afternoon than marvelling at a beautiful herd of gnus and some rutting impala making their noises around. We had the impala running in and out through the wildebeest, and he got a bit confused as he chased two males out of the area, and then turning around found himself completely surrounded by much bigger animals in a much darker coat. It was quite funny to see how he got a bit stuck in there, and he is now materialized out and still chasing his impala brethren around. But all the wildebeest are very interested in wildebeest, it seems, because that's wildebeest right there. They're all snorting at us as we're walking along. They've come from Vuyatela Dam. They've crossed the road in front of us, and it's getting that time of night where darkness is setting in. There's alarm calls all over the place because the impala males are rutting, so there's this sort of energy in the air that the wildebeest are like, what's going on? They can probably smell Hukumuri from the dam. We're not far at all, maybe 600 meters from the dam wall itself. Hukumuri, I'm not sure exactly where he is now, but just the other side there, and that scent lingers. These animals, wildebeest, their primary sensory sort of ability is definitely smell. A very, very keen smell, and the way they mark their territories and do everything that they do is all through smell. And so no doubt they're looking at the meat eaters being Herbie and wildebeest and wondering if there's any danger. Clearly not me, because I'm a vegetarian. And there is the amazing male impala doing his strut with his tail wagging. Let's see if we can hear him gurgling. Okay, you want to know if I've got any ultimate fitness tips? Well, I believe in high intensity workouts, low sort of time frame, high energy, little rest, not too much weight, a lot of body weight sort of stuff, just to keep fit. I think there's something called the Tabata program out there. It's all about low or high intensity short exercises. And eat well, that's the idea. I'm trying to keep off carbohydrates, but it's very, very hard. What's Vildy's fitness tip? What's your fitness tip? Work on your vehicle all day. Yeah. There we go. Wildebeest's tip is to work on your car all day, because taking a gearbox out of a car is very physical. Very physical. Well, we're going to start meandering off, leave these wildebeest to their nightly sort of missionings in the open here, where they can see. And before we can't see, we're going to head on back. And let's go over to David, and how marvelous are these Swahili words that he's teaching you all.
Are they coming to me? Yes, and here we are, and enjoying the little cold breeze of the evening here, and hoping against hope that something will happen before long. It's very quiet where we are, and we're driving, stopping, driving, picking any slight sound that you might hear. We do not want to take anything for granted, because we still think as it's getting dark and Steve might be heading home, it's only us who are left now, me and the new combination of the new males. The new males now got 3 sets of males trying to mark territories here to see whether we can pop up some spots and we got some impalas walking towards us. I'm not sure they have any idea where these spots would be or what they're thinking there. We are in infrared now. You might see the... Oh, not it. Okay, and yeah, we are just about to, but you can see some two young males there. They don't look very concerned, and well done. They've just moved to infrared, right? And see the difference there. The whole idea is not to invade their privacy. We do not want to shine any lights from the car to them. We want to keep it as natural as possible. Two young boys there. I wouldn't know where the rest are. It doesn't look very good to be just two by yourself there. The risk of being brought down by Hukumuri or Hosanna are very, very high. Did Kea ask whether their eyes are darker because of the rutting season? I do not think so, Kea, and I think your question is, are their eyes darker because of the rutting season? I will tell you for sure, Kea, I do not know, but I will find out. I would not think so. I wouldn't think their eyes would change in color because of the rutting season. What I realize would happen is you'll see the males' necks becoming a little big when they keep trying to strengthen their neck to be ready to fight with the other males. Or sometimes you'll see their testicles getting a little bigger during the rutting season just to excite the females, and because of the elevation of the testosterone hormones in the males. But the eyes turning dark, I'm not very, very sure about that. I'll find out, but I would highly doubt that would happen. They would need them to see the way they see when it's not rutting season. And yeah, and we'll get hold of who got his spotlight out. Okay, Raf.
Yes, we do, David. Thanks. We're trying to find Hukumuri with everything that we have, but it's almost like we're back to square one, because now that we've lost sight of him, well, we might as well start all over again. But that's what we're doing. We keep up the positivity, and that because that's why we found him in the first place. So it's perseverance and positivity that lands you up in those kind of situations. So that's what we'll do again, and we're on the lookout for him, but who knows what we might see in between. I'm hoping for a bush baby this evening, maybe a little chameleon. Oh, a jackal! We need a jackal as well. Yes, Rebecca and FC will try our best. Let's see a jackal. Maybe a jackal's going to start following Hukumuri. That would be nice. And then bush baby just in the tree above him while he's cleaning himself and the jackal's looking on. That would be perfect. But that's not going to happen. Something completely surprising is going to happen, I'm sure. Maybe we'll spot Shudulu, who's been walking around this area, and luckily we did make it out back onto the road without losing anyone. Seb managed to hold on in the back, and well, we didn't get a flat tire for now. Paula, I think you might be talking about what I was talking about this morning when I was doing some tracking. I think when you say shadow stepping, I think that might be what I call, or what we call, direct registering, which is where the front foot steps and then the back foot goes directly into it. Yes, leopards do direct register, and if that's what you mean, then yes, the shadow step. Sometimes when they're on a slow walk, it's slightly an or you know, behind it, the back foot, so you almost see this very big footprint, but it's actually the front and the back foot just slightly offset from each other, but at a normal walking pace. It's a direct register or a shadow step, yes. That's all the little cats do. There's I think it's a fork-tailed drongo mimicking a pearl-spotted owlet, you naughty boy. You know, they normally do that to scare the other birds off if there's a nice little resource that they're after. Fork-tailed drongos are naughty like that, mimicking dangerous birds, or birds that eat other birds, like the pearl-spotted owlet. Fork-tailed drongo is a wonderful bird. They are so adaptable. They are almost like the leopards of the birding world, but they're not predators. They're just so well adapted to any kind of environment. You do find them in a lot of different areas as well. And they are not scared of anything. Maybe more so like the honey badger of the sky. Maybe that's better to say that, because they are not scared of anything. There's some eyes there. Might just be an impala, but I spotted some eyes over there. There. What is that? There's a road here. We will have to go and investigate. It's probably an antelope. Did you see it, Seb? Seb says it's an impala. Okay, well, we won't bother about that then. Let's continue on the search. As we come through this red bush willow thickets here, lots of it around, hey. Wonderful firewood is that stuff, and it's bush encroacher, so that's one of the best woods to use, especially where it is encroaching in the bush, just to help alleviate a bit of pressure. But obviously, yeah, sustainably used, it's very, very good wood to burn a fire. It's one of those woods where you can light a fire this evening and put a few logs on, and in the morning you could still boil your kettle and make your tea on it with the same wood without having added anything. Those coals hold forever. So in that sense it's actually quite conservative. So, while we keep up our wish list, I wonder what Dave's wish list is for this evening's drive.
And just like Ralph, looking for nocturnal animals or nocturnal souls, same case I'm doing here. But the most important news for me, as I said this morning, it was my first solo, and this is my solo, my first solo in the darkness. My first solo in you're using an infrared. I've never done that before. I'm doing that for the first time, and I had a chance, there's a little bit of noise going on there. I had a chance of seeing how my territory mate David was assembling his equipment to come to infrared. Let's see if we can pick that noise in the background there. We're trying to find out if in the remaining time would still bump into our spots. But also, just like Ralph, I don't mind seeing bunnies along the way, or even chameleons. I have only seen one chameleon. I was with James Henry on a safari. That was interesting. It was green in color. I'm yet to get its name correct. I'm sure flat-eared something. I can't remember what it was, but we'll be getting its correct name. And, well, a scorpion has been found somewhere. That is something I would also like to see. Well, what else would I like to see, David? What else are we possibly meant to see?
Chameleon.
Chameleon, David thinks, is his wish list. I would say top on the list, yes, chameleon, a bunny, a boomslang, if I'd be lucky. I get boomslangs at night, David?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, or boomslang at night is a snake I would like to see in the darkness, on top of a tree maybe. What else? Anything nocturnal, be it a honey badger, a civet, any nocturnal creatures, you know? And the wish list on the other side continues searching.
Well, I haven't haven't found anything yet on the wish list, but I'm heading back towards quarantine. I'm going towards where I think Hukumuri might pop out, but it's just a hunch. He's going that way, and it's going the direction where we found all those tracks this morning. Now, Miss Salamandrus, if a male leopard was infertile, I think it would definitely affect his dominance. Very interesting because there were some lights in. No, it's an impala. Thought it was a bush baby in the tree. Because yes, I mean that's pretty much what male leopards live for, is to pass on their genes and to have offspring. So once they lose their ability to sire offspring, it's that's time for retirement, and they're not their sort of strength, I think, would start to ebb because of that, because that is the real driving force behind a lot of males in the world, in the animal kingdom, is finding the best female to pass on your genes to your offspring. So, and I mean, humans are not far from that either. It's very relevant with that as well. But yes, I definitely think once they lose that ability to, or once they are infertile anymore, they're not going to be really fighting for territories and things like that. Here's one of David's animals on his wish list. Now, Lou, naturally, I don't really know of too many animals in normal populations that are born infertile. Obviously, there will be those rare occurrences, but I think it's generally mostly, once they age and they become infertile. But obviously there are all sorts of deformities and infants or offspring born with those kind of problems. But it's not a really common natural occurrence, if I can say that. See this little scrub hare just having a feed on some grass there, it looks like. They are totally vegetarian, and they do graze, as would your local home bunny rabbit. I suppose, what do you feed them? Some lettuce and spinach and all that kind of stuff. But these ones feeding mostly just on grass. So there you go, David. I found one of the animals on your wish list. It wasn't very hard, because there are a lot of them around. And they do form a big part of the diet of a lot of the animals around here. I'm sure animals like jackals, they would feed almost exclusively on scrub hares. And young leopards, be perfect food for them. Shame. We don't want to just talk about animals as being food, but there are a lot of scrub hares around, and obviously that does help the ecosystem, especially the smaller predators or the young leopards and lions that are coming up. It does form a nice part of their diet. Lots of protein in there. All right. So the wish list starting to be completed, and the scrub hare hopping along the road. Well, let's hop along to Dave.
Well done, Ralph, with the scrub hare. I'm still yet to get my own scrub hare. I haven't given up. I still have time to do that. But most important, I can't wait to go back to the full control and see those photographs of Hukumuri. That male leopard sounds scary, sounds big, sounds handsome. I would be more than happy to see how it looks like, and hoping also one of the days I am going to smoke it out. I'm going to spot it myself with my brother here, David, very, very soon. Yeah, David agrees with that. And as I said earlier, now the Hukumuris should know the number of competitors have increased, because leopards face lots of competition from lions, and the Avoca males and the Birmingham boys are quite a concern to all the male leopards around here. And now with a new coalition, as Nancy said, of me and David, now that's another third concern for these leopards. We'll see how it goes, and hopefully we are going to get a bit of respect from the other existing territorial male lions around. So we'll start. A few minutes ago we stopped in our car and we had to jump out for about a minute to mark our territories. We have started doing what we're supposed to be doing. David thinks we had to do that, and hopefully the Avoca males or the Birmingham boys, they'll pick it up and wonder what could be happening here. So we have to improve now on our calls. All right, David? We are thinking anything from the western boundary coming down towards Chitwa. What do you think, David? That's where we are going to start, because that's where we are currently, and then moving slowly and to start encroaching, but very, very carefully. We are not brought down by the existing boys. So yes, we already did that, and see how it goes when the Birmingham boys are spotted again. We look at their body language and see how they'll be behaving. And well, tomorrow we'll be out and about again, and because of the time factor, let's hear the closing words from one Ruff.
Yeah, thank you, Dave, and very interesting about all this territorial marking. It seems like you guys are going to be competing with Hukumuri. You better watch out, you might not take lightly to that. Anyway, we're still on the lookout for anything that vaguely represents a predator. Fluffy ossicones, it is definitely possible that some of these predators and cats have been habituated to our sense as well. You know, I think initially they might take an interest, and then once they've sort of got your smell, I'm not quite sure about the cats though, like that. Maybe for if you mark your territory, definitely. I mean, when we used to you know, go out into the wilderness in the desert and in areas which is unfenced with big game and whatnot. I mean, I used to often say to the guests, if you're going to go to the toilet, you know, we in a circle around camp. It does help to keep the hyenas and the jackals at bay a little bit, but obviously if you've still got meat in your camp, they sort of override that scent marking. But it does, I mean, you're then doing what they do, and it does help a little bit. So it's, but I think mostly an animal like an elephant is more so likely to recognize smells and voices of particular individuals, or, you know, from humans. I would say that. And I've had a very close encounter with an elephant. Well, we've had it many times, but one particular case was on one of the game reserves. I've just turned my lights off because there's lots of impala in front. One of the game reserves in the Eastern Cape. And while I tell this story, let's actually just float up towards them and maybe just get them in on the IR, because there's a lovely big herd of impala here. There we are. Not sure how far we can go. There we go. So in this game reserve in the Eastern Cape, I had a very close encounter with a particular big bull elephant. He had massive tusks, and we had a little bit of a Mexican standoff at 6 meters for about 12 minutes. It felt about 12 hours in those moments. But anyway, eventually, long story short, he went on his way and I went on my way, but it wasn't after a couple of shouts that I had to give to him, and we definitely sort of had our differences thrashed out in those 12 minutes, and eventually he turned his back on me and he wandered off into the bushes, quite almost in disgust. And from that day on, you know, all the rangers in the area would talk about what a lovely animal he was and how friendly he used to come up close to the vehicle and, you know, always be engaging type, sniffing the vehicles and so on. But from that day on with me, every single time he saw me, he turned his back on me and he walked away. So for me it was very evident that he definitely recognized me, and he wasn't happy with my presence. So I think elephants definitely capable of doing that. Leopards, lions, I'm not quite sure if they would do it emotionally like that. I think they could pick up if you're a male or a female, and if you would be a potential threat, potential prey, or a potential mate. Who knows? So anyway, everybody, it's been a wonderful afternoon. Finally found Hukumuri, and that has really made my day. Thanks to everybody in FC, to all the wonderful cam ops, to Steve and to David. Thanks so much, and most of all, thanks to the viewers, and see you again once more. Bye-bye for now.